Mobile phone with My Story icon.
Welcome to the My Story app, a mobile app developed by the National Cancer Institute for brain tumor patients and caregivers.
Male patient typing on a mobile phone.
You will first need to download the app in the Apple App Store called National Cancer Institute, My Story, Brain Tumor App. The app is currently available for Apple phones, and we have plans to develop for Android devices in the future. Once you enter the app, you will find a menu bar at the bottom.
From left to right at the bottom of a phone includes a menu bar with icons, symptom log, self-care, care log, calendar, and connect.
First, you can go to the symptom log section. Here, you will be able to track your symptoms and their severity and any functions they are impacting.
Calendar.
We would recommend logging these daily, but you can log more or less based on how you feel and discussions you have with a member of your healthcare team, which can include your doctor, nurse practitioner, or other healthcare provider.
Female doctor holding a clipboard and male doctor with surgical mask giving a thumbs up. Symptom log screen on the app with an image of a journal and severity scale with the buttons log symptoms and generate report.
Click on the Log Symptoms button. Here, you will select the symptoms you are experiencing, such as fatigue, sleep disturbance, mood disturbance, seizure, headache, body pain, cognitive symptoms or GI symptoms, and hit Next. Then you will select the level of severity of each symptom using the scale. Level 0 means not experiencing that symptom at all, and level 10 is experiencing that symptom at its worst. Then select how you would describe that symptom in the fields below. For example, under cognitive symptoms you may select difficulty speaking and difficulty understanding. If you want to learn more about that symptom, you can click on the magnifying glass button to the right of the symptom and it will give you more information. You can then hit back at the top left to go back to the symptom log section. Once complete, hit Save at the bottom. Now, you can log how your symptoms are impacting your functions. Scroll down and select any function changes you are experiencing, such as physical functions and role in social activities, and hit Next. Then you will select the level of severity of each function using the scale. Then select how you would describe that function in the fields below. Once complete, hit Save. After you have logged your symptoms and functions for the day, you will find a Log Completed bar at the top with the time you have completed. You can also find faces on the right of each symptoms or function to show the level of severity you logged. Mild is reporting a severity from 1 to 4, moderate from 5 to 7, and severe from 8 to 10. Once you have completed the log, you can generate a report. Click on the Generate Report button on the top right.
Generate report screen on the app with an image of a hand holding a phone with the button Select Symptoms, select date range, and generate symptom report.
On this page, you can generate a report of the symptoms you have logged. First, select symptoms. You can select certain symptoms or functions individually or select all at the bottom.
List of all the app symptoms and functions with check marks selected.
Once you have selected the symptoms you want to report, click Done. Now you need to select the date range by clicking on that button. You can select the date range from last week, last month, last 3 months, or put a custom date range in the field below. Then hit Done.
Menu with date range buttons with the last month date range selected.
Now you can generate the symptom report by clicking on that button. Here is a report with all the symptoms you have logged, but also any events you have added in other sections, treatments, appointments, and self-care activities that we will discuss later in the calendar section. The top icons are labeled by sections. Then the line graph shows the level of severity for each symptom by date. If you want to change the symptoms or date range graphed in the report, hit the Select Symptoms or Select Date Range at the top. If you want to save the report, then hit the Report button at the top right, then Save/Share. The report file will be saved to your app in the Connect section. If you need help understanding the report, you can email mystory@nih.gov.
Report with logged activities by date.
Now we will explore the self-care section of the app. This section of the app shows you ways to manage and recognize your symptoms.
Self-care screen on the app with an image of a journal and ways to manage symptoms with the button Search Symptoms.
First, click on Search Symptoms. These symptoms included are the most common symptoms people with a brain tumor experience. You can click on each symptom here. For example, we will learn more about fatigue. For each of these symptoms, you will hear what the definition is, then when you click on the right of the words, you can learn how to recognize that symptom, then how to manage that symptom through some self-care activities including diet, exercise, medication and sleep, and then tips on when and how to report that symptom with a member of your healthcare team. These are general guidelines and specific reporting instructions should come from your healthcare team. Once you are done with that symptom, you can click back at the top left if you have any other symptoms you would like to learn more about. Next, we will go to the Care Log section of the app. Here, you can track your self-care activities. We would recommend logging these daily.
Calendar. Care Log screen on the app with an image of a journal with what self-care activities were logged and when with the buttons Log Activity and Generate Report.
Click on Log Activity. Under the self-care activity, click on the field below and select the appropriate activity type, diet, exercise, sleep, medication or other. Then click Done. Below the self-care activity, this is where you would include more details. So for diet, you could put in exactly what you ate, such as ate an egg. Then select the time and click Save.
Screen with self-care activity logged and date and time selected.
Once you have entered a self-care activity on the Care Log, the next screen will include any activities you have logged for that day and the time and date you last logged. Once you are done, you can generate a report so that you can save. Would recommend creating a report weekly or monthly.
Generate Report screen on the app with an image of a person standing overlooking mountains with the button Select Activity, select date range and generate self-care report.
On this page, you can generate a report of the self-care activities you have logged. First, select Activities. You can select certain self-care activities individually or select all at the bottom. Once you have selected the activities you want to report, click Done.
List of all the self-care activities with check marks selected.
Now you need to select the date range. You can select the date range from last week, last month, last 3 months or put a custom date range in the field below. Then hit Done.
Menu with date range buttons with the last month date range selected.
Now you can generate the self-care report. Here is a report of all the self-care activities you have logged by day in the graph. Below, you will find how many days you logged each activity and details about each activity that you entered. If you want to change the report, hit the Select Activity or Select Date range at the top. If you want to save the report, then hit the Report button at the top right, then Save/Share. The report file will be saved to your app in the Connect section.
Report with logged activities by date.
Now we will go check out the Calendar section of the app. In this section, you can find your previously logged symptom and self-care activities, but you can also add in any treatments or appointments. You may also put in yesterday's symptoms if you forgot to do so, or past self-care activities. First, you will click on the View and Add Event.
Calendar screen on the app with an image of a journal and calendar to include appointments and treatments with the button View and Add Event. Calendar separated by month, then day.
On this screen, you can scroll up to find where you have logged activities. If you click on the date, you can find the hourly breakdown for your day that will include the treatment and appointment events for that day.
Showing a day and logged activities, treatment, radiation at 6 a.m., appointment, imaging at 10 a.m.
To add an event, click on the Add Event button at the bottom left. Under the event category, click on the box below and select the appropriate event type, treatment, appointment, yesterday's symptoms or a self-care activity. Then click Done. Below the event details, this is where you would include more details. So, for appointment, you can select what type of appointment here, such as clinic, therapy or imaging. Then select the time and click Add Event.
Screen with event and details logged and date and time selected.
If you would like to generate a report, you can click on the Report button at the bottom right and it will take you to a menu screen where you can create a symptom or self-care report which we discussed previously. Now we will go to the Connect section of the app. This is where you can share all your activities and reports you have saved with others. This is helpful so you can share this with your loved ones or a member of your healthcare team.
Connect screen on the app with an image of ways you can download and share reports, with your doctor, to your personal records, with your family, with your surgeon, to your medical records, and with your caregiver. Includes the button Share.
First, click on the Share button. This is where all of your reports are saved. Each one is a PDF file that is named by the type of report, either symptom or self-care, then the dates of the report so you can easily find them. These can be shared and saved by selecting the document, then click on the Share button at the top right. You can select multiple symptom and self-care reports to share at the same time. Then your phone will give you options on how to share using your other apps, email, or saving to your files. This can be an easy way for you to send to your loved ones, support network, healthcare team, or at an upcoming visit. You can also save to a medical record app if you have one stored on your phone.
Screen showing phone options to share, such as AirDrop, email, OneDrive, or download. Listing of reports by name and trash can icon on the right of each listing, showing how you can select reports, share them with others and delete them.
If you are unsure which report you want, you can click on the report title to open that specific report. You can also easily delete any files by clicking on the right of the report name on the trash can corresponding with the report you want to delete. You can also go back and generate some additional symptom or self-care reports if needed.
Mail patient sending messages on a mobile phone.
We hope you find this app helpful.
Mail patient filling spoon with medicine.
Once you get comfortable with the app, we hope you can begin recognizing patterns in your symptoms and self-care activities.
Male patient standing with older male caregiver who is taking notes on a notepad.
And share your findings with a member of your healthcare team. If you are still having issues or have any questions regarding the app, please email us at mystory@nih.gov. U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, National Institutes of Health, National Cancer Institute. Cancer.gov, 1-800-4-CANCER. Produced May 2021.